The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I'm here today with my co-host, Blake Polino with BP Media Group.
This week, we sit down with Kelly Ferrara of Ferraras Heating and Air Conditioning here in Lufkin to talk about the great history of this company, where they started, their origins, how things have changed, and some really, really great community involvement things that they take part in. So let's jump into that episode now.
Well, we are excited today to have Kelly Ferrara with us. Kelly is with Ferraras Heating and Air Conditioning. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Glad you're here. Why don't you give the background history of Ferraras, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Okay. So I guess it all started with Sammy. Sammy Ferrara. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't be here today. So he began this. When he was 20 years old, he's from Temple, Texas. Okay. So he attended Temple Junior College. He took a heating and air conditioning course, and he really enjoyed it. So he thought, you know what, I probably want to go this career path with my life. So he did. When he graduated, he moved to Tyler, and he started working for General Electric, and he was a lab technician in the engineering department. And then he worked for Texas A&M in their refrigeration group. And about that time is when his oldest, or his daughter, Renee, and middle son, Brandon, my husband, were born. And so they had the fun experience of getting to play with the Aggie, or on the Aggie field and so forth. So yeah, that was good for him, or for both of them rather. He then started working for Lindy Dennis, and he was there for a number of years. Youngest brother, Kevin, was born at that time. Lindy Dennis eventually relocated him to Lufkin, and then that division closed. So then he's at the path of, what do I do next? Yeah. So tried different things, but ultimately decided to settle in Lufkin. Mm-hmm. And so that's really what brought him here. He and Shirley met in high school and dated or courted, as they would call it, for a number of years. And they were married, and she was taking care of the children, a stay-at-home mom. But then also when he started his business, he started it with her by his side every step of the way. And a fun story that Sammy likes to share is that when they started in their garage. So it was a mom, a dad, and their 3 young children. Brandon was 10 years old at the time. It was in 1982. And Brandon has been with the company ever since. So he absolutely has lived it, and very, very experienced, very knowledgeable in the field, and is great with that. So that was the beginning of Ferraras, and it's just steadily expanded since then.
That's great. So it is truly a family-owned business.
Truly is, yes.
That's great.
So tell us a little bit about the structure now. So what does the company look like now?
Okay, so it's grown a lot. Like I said, we started with 5, quote, employees, and now we have about 65 employees. Wow. And we're steadily growing from there. We started with light commercial and residential. Now we also have large commercial, industrial. We service a lot of the local schools and hospitals and businesses and such. But a lot of people don't understand. They see our building and they assume that we're just commercial, but we're not. We do a lot of residential as well. And so that's a really big deal with us. Something that Brandon loved, and he got Sammy's approval to expand the business here, is the automation, building automation. So in the late 90s, we started that, and Sammy pretty much gave that to Brandon. That's your baby. Make it work. Make it succeed. And he has. And he's fully embraced it. And that's a real strength that we have. And it's very interesting. So,
awesome.
The building automation.
So what is your role now in the whole scheme of things?
Well, I am the Vice President of Corporate Operations. And I handle everything human resources, everything.
Fun stuff.
All the
She's
fun
Brandon's
stuff.
The
keeper.
fun
Yeah,
stuff. Keep Brandon in line.
yes, absolutely. And then of course all the financial everything and
The really fun
and
stuff.
all the behind the scenes things is what I do. Yeah,
That's
the
great.
marketing and so forth.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah, Kelly wears a lot of hats over there. So anytime you need something, Kelly is the one you call.
Right. And to kind of let y'all know where I even fit into this, why am I even here today? I felt like that was worth mentioning because when you guys invited me to meet with you, I thought, well, Brandon really should be the one doing this, not me. But he said, no, you really fit.
That's good.
Like Sammy and Shirley, Brandon and I are high school sweethearts. We met in 11th grade in French
I
class.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
That's great.
So I've been a part of the family since I was 16 years old.
That's great.
And when I graduated college, I went to work for Lufkin Industries, and I was there for right at 17 years until inevitably my mother-in-law came to me and she said, Kelly, it's time. And so within a few months of her talking with me, I switched over to the company and have been with them ever since.
Yeah.
So we're approaching 11 years this May.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Well, and it just continues. I think that's the beauty of a family-owned business is that it just passes
That's right.
generation to generation.
That's right.
And that you get to continue the traditions that are set, and the things that are so important to your family get to continue and be with
Definitely.
long
And
lasting.
it's been something that I've had to learn, Brandon's had to learn, and Shirley and Sammy did as well, is you have to know when to separate personal from professional.
And it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, and don't take it home.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
it's
right.
very
Yeah.
hard. When
Well,
it's
in
family.
2021, y'all had some recognitions and you acquired some things. So let's talk about kind of how you expanded last year.
Okay, sure. Yes. Well, I guess the expansion part of it is we had been in discussions for quite some time with James Blackwood, who is the owner of Pac Sun Heating and Air, and finally made it happen. On December 1 of 2021, we did acquire them. And so a couple of great things that's done for us. Number one is we get to work with a fantastic company and a great group of people. But then also it's expanding with our residential and strengthening our residential group. So that was while we did residential, it was probably our smallest part of our company, and now it's become more of the forefront.
That's great.
And so we've been able to bring a good team of experienced technicians on for that. Also, they have we have an office in Nacogdoches. So it's helping us to expand our blueprint into the Nacogdoches market as well.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
great.
so what were some other recognitions that happened in 2021 as well?
Well, the beginning of the year, the Lufkin Daily News awarded us as Best of Lufkin for heating and air
great.
conditioning. Yeah, so
Awesome.
that was a nice honor. The Chamber also nominated us for Medium-Sized Business of the Year. So that was a fun time for
That's right.
us. And
That's
yeah,
right.
very
Love doing
exciting. As we have for many, many years, we get awarded the Top Gun Award from Train, and that is for Train Comfort Specialist dealers. It's the top 10 of everywhere nationally that have the highest level of train equipment sales and install and service and so forth.
And that's across the nation?
Yes.
That's
so
fantastic.
Great.
it's a big honor for
Yeah.
us to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
The thing that I love about Ferraras is that y'all are so community involved. There's a lot of things that you as a family believe in. There are things as a company that you believe in. And so I know that Alzheimer's fundraiser is really special to y'all. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. My mother-in-law developed Alzheimer's in her later years, and we all struggled with that. And it's just one of those things you embrace, and until you're actually walking in those shoes, you don't really appreciate how it impacts
right.
not just the person who is ill with it, but the entire family and the whole dynamics of everything, your whole world. So we have embraced it. She did pass away in April of 2020. But we decided, you know what, this is really a good cause that we want to spend extra effort to. And so we've really kicked up our game with the walk-in Alzheimer's events, and we've done a lot of extra. And last year we did, I think we raised the most money in our area, in the East Texas area. So it was a big honor to be able to do that.
That's
and,
right.
and glad that we
Fantastic.
could help out the community too.
Love that.
So, yeah.
And we also know that y'all love to cook.
Yeah.
Brandon is a huge barbecue enthusiast.
He is.
And so we're excited as the chamber to be able to partner with Ferraras to bring, hopefully this year, our fingers are crossed, the first inaugural barbecue cook-off at the Forest Festival. So we had it planned for 2 years ago, then COVID wiped us out. And we keep pushing it because of COVID. I think COVID is, we're moving on and moving forward. So we're excited to be able to host the barbecue cook-off. So if that's something that you enjoy doing, we hope that you'll join us this September at the barbecue cook-off with
Right.
Ferraras.
We're looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
it's going to be a good time. We're actually hoping to make it a sanctioned event, which will bring in a lot of people from the outside area to not only to Lefkin, but to the Forest Festival and help get them points to be able to go to Houston and other places. So we're excited to partner with y'all on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are as well.
Thanks.
And if you don't know a lot about the competitive barbecue scene, that is a big deal. Like
It's
to be a
huge.
sanctioned event so you can get points. I mean, it's a whole little industry in itself. So that's really, really exciting news. We're super glad that y'all are a part of it. Well,
Yes.
is there anything else that our listeners need to know about you or about the company?
Well, this year we are actually celebrating our 40th anniversary.
Oh, nice.
So,
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations.
thank you so much. So, yeah, when the Ferrara family began in May of 1982 in the garage, we are now 40 years later and doing great.
Just think how far
So,
you've come from
I
a
know.
garage to acquiring new companies and to expanding
That's
into
right.
new areas. So
Yes.
that's
We're going to
great.
actually have a cheers with the chamber.
Yeah.
You are, that's right.
And yes, in a month or so to celebrate that. So more to come on
Yeah,
that
be looking
event.
for that information
Yeah.
coming out. It'll come out on all social media platforms and emails and things like
Yes.
that. So come and join us for 40th
Yes.
40th anniversary celebration.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We'll love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. We truly
very
enjoy having you on here and telling us a little bit more about the history and the story behind everything. It's really, really great. And our listeners love when we do these
They love stories.
episodes that tell stories about
Yeah.
businesses in our area, just because a lot of people probably didn't know that it's been around 40 years. I mean, that's fantastic. So really appreciate you being on. And I want to thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. Truly appreciate your support. And if you want to catch the video version of this podcast, it's available on the Chamber YouTube page and on the Chamber Facebook page. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.